It's a gorgeous Wednesday, spring on the way, and that means the regular season coming to an end. It's Wednesdays with Ward, the homestand, the final one of the year. And Coach, thanks for sharing some time with us.
You're welcome, Ryan.
Let's get right at it. 4 home games left, all in a row, and a couple weekend sets. This is a change of pace for a club that spent only 9 days in BC in the month of March.
Yeah, it's nice to be home, and it's certainly, we are in one of the most beautiful places in the world, especially this time of year and in the fall. So feels good to be back home. Our players are energized. We've had a good run this year at home, and we like to be here.
A couple stiff opponents on tap as well. Division leaders, Grand Rapids, the task at hand. What do you see in that group as a challenge?
Well, they've been a really good team from start to finish. I think maybe their coach would say they started a little bit slow, but certainly we've had really 2 good games against them. We played very well against them, both down in Grand Rapids earlier in the year. So they're a really good team. They're in first place. They're a team that's had some good series of late. They're coming off a nice win the other night in Houston where they won 5-1, and they've got a ton of talent.
Trade deadline today. I wonder if you see that as a distraction for players, if you had guys on their cell phones in the locker room, or if it was business as usual. I think it's probably human nature to be a little curious.
Yeah, we ran 2 practices today to keep them kind of focused today. We kind of did a light video session in terms of some fun video today, what we call melting heat. So we had some fun with it today because obviously their minds were as much here, but they were elsewhere, just to see if they would be traded. This day as a coach in the history of the game is one of the most difficult because of the trade deadline, and guys are anxiously awaiting to see what would happen and if it would impact our team and how it would impact our team or just themselves in general. So, we try to keep them focused, and actually I thought they did a nice job.
Just thought on the final stretch here. Playoffs are obviously something that you're going to need something close to a run of the table as well as some help. Is there talk about that, or is the focus on process as we might expect it to be given the nature of the conversations we've had for the last 2 years?
Well, it's been about the process. I mean, we talked today. We went into Hamilton for 2, and we went into Toronto last week on the road again. As you mentioned, we've been out a lot this second half, and I liked how we played. We went 1-1-1, so to speak. But each game we outchanced our opponent by at least a minimum of 8 and even more. Like, we had some really good chances. Our chances were up over 20 a game. That means you're doing some good things offensively. We held teams at bay defensively. So our offensive and defensive side of things have been in check, and we've been doing a good thing. Like, we've just had some trouble here the second half stringing all things together, like good goaltending one game and then good forward play and good defensive. It seems like one part of our game or our special teams has been off. So, but the process has been in check.
The one part that has been there in the last 2 games after a bit of a drought is the power play. You've scored 4 goals on your last 8 opportunities with the man advantage, and I suppose not a coincidence that Ben Street's on a 4-game point streak, Ben Walter's on a 4-game point streak, and Bertschy's had 3 multi-point games in his last 6. Those things are probably correlated.
I think so, and I think the fact that, we've gotten a little bit of practice time here of late. I mean, as you remember traveling with us, we didn't practice forever, and when you're not a very deep team in terms of talent, like when your fundamentals erode away because you don't practice and all you do is play games, your foundation is usually eroding away on a daily process. So we kind of got back into some practice mode. We were able to get into some 5-4 situations in practice, and I thought it's helped us immensely.
Mark Kandari, a guy I picked up in the Jay Bouwmeester deal from the St. Louis organization. What do you remember from him in Peoria, and what's the game plan moving forward with the small but tenacious defenseman?
Yeah, well, I think, Ryan, he's honest. I mean, the games we've played him last year and the games that we played him this year, up here early in the year, and then the 2 games in Peoria, I would call him an honest defenseman. I think he plays in all 3 zones. He can do some things offensively. At the same time, he's a physical kid, plays with a lot of energy, and from what I hear, I know Greg Nemitz has been a teammate of his in the past and says he's a great teammate. So we look forward. He's a good addition to our team, even though we don't have much left in the season, but we look forward to getting him here sometime today yet. He'll arrive. We're not sure if his status this weekend. He's coming off an injury, but in general, it'll be good just to have him here and look at his experience to help us.
What have you seen from the ATOs? You've got Kulak, who hung around, and Saigo, who suddenly was getting power play reps in practice today.
Well, they've been good. I mean, we've had to, we've had to put these young kids in really quick. I mean, we basically have dressed 5 rookies back there last week with Carson being out with an injury and Callahan being our only vet. So we've had a lot of inexperience back on our blue line. I think that Cooley hasn't played yet, but he's been making some progress in practice. He's kind of getting used to being a pro. His development here is a little bit different than Saigo. Saigs is more of a guy that's here for us to find out where he's at in his pro game and where he'll eventually pan out to be. And so we've tried to put him in a lot of situations working with management to find out where he's at in his development, and we've been very pleased with him. So both guys are doing a good job. Ideally, we'd like to get Kulak in because he's a draft pick to the Flames and a part of our future.
Final question will be about injuries. They've seemed to mount. Just any good news on Breen or Banks or any of the other group that's been ailing of late? Because it seemed like there's a lot of physicality and a lot of history and heart that you're missing all of a sudden.
Yeah, thanks. That's a good point. I mean, well, the good news for Breener is he's going to have surgery. As much as that's bad news for Heat fans and for our team, because he's one of our most veteranized guys back there and doing such a great job this year. We'll lose him for the rest of the year. He's decided to have surgery and to kind of get that thing taken care of and get moving for next year. So that's a tough loss for us. But on the good side, he's going to get it taken care of and hopefully get back to normal and not have a bad shoulder. So and then on the Carter Banks side, he's making some progress, but he's certainly not going to play this weekend here against Grand Rapids. We're hopeful during the Toronto series if he can make some strides, but that's still unknown. But both energy guys that I've been a part of. They came in my first year here when I was the assistant, and great team guys. So we miss them right now, but it's a land of opportunity, as we always talk about. We get some other guys to put in the lineup.
Thanks for the opportunity to chat today. It is episode 14 of Wednesdays with Ward.